Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here, your buddy Uncle Bruce from beautiful Palm Desert, California. It's Monday, November the 8th. It's after the close. The markets have come and gone today. We had a 104-point gain on the Dow today. The S&P was up 4 and Nasdaq was up 10 points. But the news that we were watching for later in the day and now in the aftermarket has now come through. We were looking to see what would happen with AMC shares, the movie theater chain, because they came out with their earnings tonight after the bell. And we wanted to find out how are the shares of GameStop going to react to how the shares of AMC react. Because many of us note the fact that there's usually a bit of a correlation between the two shares from time to time. And if you take a look at the chart today, you'll see on GameStop, for example, we opened up around 212 a share this morning, got up to about 225. That was the best we could muster. That was the high, just around 11 o'clock this morning. Held it for a while. Then we began to back off, and the shares ended up at $218.64 after it was all said and done. It was a $5 gain on the day, $5.39 a share on 2.1 million. It's all right. But in the aftermarkets, we're not going anywhere. And the thinking was that maybe GameStop shares were improving from about the 216 level to the 218 level at the very end of the day because AMC today was trading rather interestingly. If you take a look at AMC's chart, you'll note that it had a steady rise all day today. It had an up day going into its earnings. It had a nice pop first thing in the morning. It popped up to about 11 o'clock to the 45 something level, then backed off a little to 44. Then it popped up to the high of the day, almost $46. And then it settled back at 45.06. Aftermarket, we've been all over the map here. We have been on AMC as low as the low 43s, high of 47s. The market doesn't know what to make of it. And the reality is that AMC came out with earnings where they've lost money again. They didn't lose as much this quarter this year as they did last quarter last year. Well, that was no surprise to anyone in the market. And everybody in the stock market knew that AMC could easily beat last year's numbers because they were shut down last year. This year, they're open. And so, of course, they're going to generate gross revenues. But the question is, like, the bottom line, are they making any money? And the answer is no, they're not. Unfortunately, they are still losing a lot of cash. And the problem with AMC, unfortunately, is that they owe billions and billions and billions of dollars in debt to their bankers who bailed them out last year. Wall Street really bailed out AMC. They were able to keep raising money. AMC, though, did the smartest thing they could have possibly done last year. They started raising money through stock sales, and they did really well by it. And it allowed them to reduce some of their bank debt indebtedness. But unfortunately, they are capped as to how many more shares they can issue now. Their shareholders have kind of limited them to not issue any more stock. The problem here is that even at $44 or $45 a share, if AMC were allowed to offload 1 billion shares right now, they could pay off virtually all their debts. If they did that, they would eliminate all their interest charges and all of the restrictions that they're under regarding stock buybacks, special dividends, merger acquisitions, all kinds of things. They're really tied. Their hands are tied by their bankers. Their bankers want to be paid back. And as it is, the revenues coming into AMC theaters because Hollywood is releasing movies again, it's not enough. They're not able to bring enough money in from ticket sales, concession sales to make a profit. And they're losing money. The president of the company came out and said, look, we have got to sell more tickets in order for us to make more money. It's the only way we can make money is we've got to get more human beings into our theaters and into our concession stands to generate more revenue. And they need desperately to improve their numbers on the gross end. Unfortunately, it's not happening. And the losses are still in this $1.80 to $2 a share range. And there are many, many more shares outstanding now than ever before. And that is $1 billion plus a year in losses minimum or more that will continue to be suffered. The only good news is the company has enough cash to last all this year, 2021, probably into a good chunk of 2022. They can last. They have enough cash that unfortunately they'll burn it. They'll burn it off, but they're going to burn cash out all this year, all next year at the pace they're going, unless they can cut a deal with those shareholders. The loyal shareholders that they've got have to allow the company to issue more paper to the street to, in effect, unload debt, bank debt, and that's a tall order. And I don't know, even if they could issue 100 million shares, that would bring in 45 whatever million, a bunch of money, 400 million more, but it won't be enough to offload all the debt. And there's these debt loads are one thing, but the restrictions on the company are another. Coming back to GameStop, will the shares of GameStop go down if AMC keeps going down? What happens if tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and the day after that, the realization is that AMC is going to keep losing money and the stock goes into the low 30s? Could that affect GameStop shares and make them back off from this 200 and roughly $20, 200 and where are we at right now? 218 final trade today. Could it put GameStop back to 180.85 a share, 175 a share? Possibly. There's a lot of correlation between the two, but the reality is that GameStop doesn't have the same restrictions on it that AMC has, because GameStop has no bank debt anymore. GameStop paid off their bank debt. They raised money in the market as well. They paid off their bank debts. Those are gone. They have a line of credit now that they've just issued last year. They renewed it last week, I should say, for the next year. $500 million line of credit if they ever need it, but they're sitting on $1.7 billion cash. They're not going to use money from a banker. But even if they were to use any of their bank loan credit facility, GameStop doesn't have restrictions like no share buybacks or no merger acquisitions or no takeovers or dividend policies or share rollbacks or anything else, share splits. GameStop is free to do whatever they want, whenever they want to do with their shareholders and their stock. AMC is restricted in every way you can imagine. There are covenants all over that company. They are straitjacketed into place by their bankers, and they have got to literally take the $20 from you when you hand them a $20 bill, and they got to give it to the banker to pay down those loans, to pay off those interest payments at the very least, and then pay off loans. They need to raise more money. So, yeah, GameStop could back off to the 180 level if AMC drops down to the 30 level. One might affect the other for a while, but long term, I don't think so. As far as my viewers are concerned, what's happening with our channel is we are taking advantage of these markets. Even when companies don't make money, we take advantage of these markets to write call options against these shares. If you own 100 shares or more of AMC or GameStop, you should be writing call options against your stock to bring in this beautiful revenue that these option players are playing with. They are gambling on the future of these companies like they're going to go to the moon, and they are paying an incredible premium on these shares on the options. You as a shareholder could be beautifully paid, handsomely paid, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and quarterly by writing call options on these shares. And to figure out how to do it, I recommend going to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. Check out the classes that I've listed up there. I got 10 classes with 10 different lessons on how to write call options, how to participate in put options, how to handle spreads, how to learn how to do poor man covered calls. There's all kinds of strategies on how to work the options market to bring cash into your account on stock you're holding that you like. If you like AMC, you like GameStop, you like SoFi, you like Matterport, you can write options on these shares and bring in oodles of money, just oodles of cash every week, every month, and do whatever you want with that money. It's your money, it's your shares. Don't play the market with one hand tied behind your back. All right, folks, that's all I'm going to tell you today. Thank you for joining me today on Monday, November the 8th. Let's join us again tomorrow. Don't forget, Wednesday nights from now on, 8 o'clock Eastern time in the evening, join me live on this channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, for members only. We will have a Q&A session, whatever you want to ask me about, whatever stock, whatever option. every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live on this channel for members only. Become a member today. It has its privileges, and Wednesday night, you've got a wide open amount of time to talk to me one-on-one without the market interfering with our discussions. Let's get smarter together. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.